the first time you saw a car and you were like, you know what, I want to make this my career?
The first time I actually thought about making it my career is when I bought my own car. I bought a car I bought my first car straight out of high school when I was 16. I bought a BMW 335. And I just didn't like the process of how it was, the negotiation, and how I felt like I was getting taken advantage of because I was 16. I graduated high school early, and just the down payment and just the whole ideology of it didn't make sense. So I'm like, I could sell it because I could sell cars myself because this guy didn't seem to know what he was talking about, and he didn't make me feel comfortable. But I wanted that car so bad that I did whatever I had to do to make it happen. And by the grace of God, I was able to meet my uncle through marriage. And he was in the auto industry, he was a finance director. So I started working with him, and then it was like second nature because I was always popular, I knew how to talk, and I just was always like a natural hustler. I just always had the gift of gab.
What's it like selling to celebrities, and that the fact that they trust you? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, a lot of people always talk about celebrities. It's actually 10 times harder selling to a celebrity than everyone else because they have a million different people in their ear, so many different financial advisors and family and friends and mavens. It's very, very difficult. But once you do the right thing by one of them, they all speak. You know, it's just like, it's so crazy. But it actually feels good when you actually get the deal done because your fan base now taps in with their fan base, and it's like word of mouth is easily spread when you're that car guy, you're the go-to guy. So it's a great experience. You got to have patience. You got to you have two ears and one mouth. You got to make sure you're listening to their needs, their wants, because anybody can go and do the same thing. And, you know, they get paid for endorsements and paid for deals, and they get so much stuff that's free that you got to make sure that you price the vehicle for the right price that makes sense for them, and then also to price it the right way for yourself so you're compensated for all the work that you're doing for the deal. But patience is definitely a virtue when dealing with celebrities because they be all over the place. Even with all the success and fame with a lot of my celebrity clients, they get pulled so many different ways. So you got to make sure you're on point.
You're 16 years old, you get your first car, you start working with your uncle, and then all of a sudden, here we are revolutionizing the auto industry, and you have an app coming out too. How do we get here?
So it's just like every day, just like, you know, when you're in something, when you're working and you're in the car business, you got to also not just be in the box, you got to think outside the box. So I'm constantly talking to clients, and I'm like, they don't remember their contract. They don't remember their payment. They don't remember when they got their car. And I constantly have to think for them. That's how I came up with my app, Cars 365 Wallet. It stores all of that information within the app. Most people don't know their insurance policy number, their tire size. Like if I ask you, do you know where are you located?
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Do you know when your car is due for an inspection?
I just had one.
Okay. Do you know when the next inspection is coming? When you need another inspection?
No.
If I was to borrow your car and I got a flat tire and I didn't know anything about cars, would you be able to tell me your tire size?
You can't borrow my car.
Good, because I'm gonna bring it back with no gas. Let me stop. But most people don't know these day-to-day things about their vehicles. So I had to think outside the box, and it's like I may lose money on the front end, but on the back end, I'm changing and helping a lot of people's lives.
So what do we need to know when we're trying to go to the car dealership and negotiate for a new car? Like, what are some things that everybody should have in mind?
The price. The price is the most important thing you should have in mind. Me being a dealer, you should know the price. The price breaks down the monthly payment on a lease or finance. It's very important. And some people get caught up on a monthly payment, but you have to know the price overall because it starts with the price and it gets broken down, not the payment broken up, because there's so many ways you can back out of a payment and increase the price that people don't know. They just see, okay, I'm uncomfortable with the $400 payment, but I can extend the term longer and it increases your price when you could have had a set price and then broke it down to a lower payment than the $400 you had in your mind. So always keep the price in mind and just don't rush into it. Even me, I'm a dealer. Like I have to buy cars. And even when sometimes like looking through the auction and calling the stores, I call many other stores because somebody may be a little bit more lenient than another. So just being patient, making sure you know your price. And if one person's not going to do it, someone is.